So now we have a service profile template, but we don't actually have any service profiles yet. Well, in this nugget, we're going to take a look at how we create the service profile from a template, how we assign that to a server. In our case, it'll be automatic because we assigned a server pool. And from there, watching the boot process and ensuring that that service profile comes online. Starting off in the equipment tab, and we just want to make sure that we know where we're deploying the service profile to. So we're on chassis 1 and we see that server 4 here. This is what I think to be my target. So I'm going to double click on this and it will take me to the Blade page, and I can see on the left that the overall status is unassociated. This means there is no service profile associated with this particular physical server. And so, okay, good, we know where we're going to deploy it. We can say okay, and just go over to the server tab. Now in the server tab, see under service profile templates, this ESXi-demo template that we created. So we can right click on this and say create service profiles from template. Now this little mini wizard here gives us the ability to spin up as many service profiles as we want. For example, maybe the prefix is going to be ESXi-demo-. And now I can say I'm going to create maybe 10 service profiles. So I'll start with 1 and the number of instances would be 10 or 2 or something along those lines. And it will number them and it will give me service profiles that are from ESXi-demo-1 through -10. So if I want to create a lot of service profiles, I have that capability. In our case, we just want to create one. So we're going to say -1 and we only need one of those. So we'll say okay. And we should have on the left here ESXi-demo-1, and we do. Now here's the great part about this. Because in the template we specified that this service profile is going to target a server pool, it's already looking for a server within that pool to associate to. Now, one tip that's good to keep in mind is if we go up to the top of this work pane here on the right, and we scroll over a little ways, and we can find the FSM, which stands for Finite State Machine. If we click on this, this is essentially the progress bar, and this shows up everywhere in UCS Manager. So if we ever need to know what's going on, look for an FSM tab because we'll get a progress bar that will show us what's happening. In our case, we can watch this. It says update is in progress. 29% is the overall progress. If we want more details, we can look down here, see, oh, okay, yeah, it's updating the firmware of the server. Remember, we assigned a host firmware package to the service profile, so good to see that it's deploying the proper firmware. Now, what if we wanted to watch this from a KVM perspective? We want to watch this service profile come up. Well, we scroll all the way back to the General tab, and we see KVM Console down here. So we can click this, and it will take us to a new web page that will allow us to log into the KVM for this server. So in our case, we need to click this link. And no signal is what we'd expect here because the server is still processing the service profile download. And we're going to, using the magic of video, of course, fast forward through the spin up process because this can take 10 to 15 minutes. No reason to sit here and watch it. But we can see as this is going that the server does boot multiple times throughout the process. Well, what's happening is a couple of things. First, the server needs to perform a PXE boot out to the Fabric Interconnect in order to download the service profile. So that's part of this process. It also needs to go out and grab the correct firmware and download the firmware components. So we're going to see several reloads, so to speak, throughout this process. And believe it or not, this is the message that we want to receive. This tells us that the service profile has booted. We haven't actually installed a hypervisor, operating system, or anything onto this hardware yet. So by it saying that, hey, we need a proper boot device, it's telling the truth. We actually need to provide it with that. In the meantime, let's take a look at UCS Manager once again. And we just want to confirm a couple of things. For one, we'll scroll back to the General tab, having seen that the FSM reports 100% completion. And we do see that the associated server for this service profile is on chassis 1 Blade 4, which was the target that we wanted. We can click right here to take us to the Blade screen. And here we can validate that it is now up. Before it had shown not associated, so now it's okay. Can look at further details and see that everything looks good. Incidentally, the blue down arrow saying available state is unavailable. That just means that it can't accept a new service profile because it already has been populated with one. In early versions of UCS Manager, that used to be a red arrow, and it didn't look good when we expanded status and saw a red arrow, so they did change the color to blue just so that we wouldn't think that there was a problem with the availability state. So everything is working as expected, and with this, we can move towards installing our hypervisor. We created a service profile from the template that we had defined, and because that template had specified a server pool, that service profile went out, found a blade in that pool, and started the association process automatically. We were able to track that not only with the FSM tab, so we saw the progress bar, but we could actually watch the process unfold via the KVM. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.